Hello, my name is Stephen Chamberlain and I am the head teacher at Barnby Academy. I'd like to welcome you all here to the school and hope that you all enjoy your educational journey alongside us. We have a lovely school and the clear purpose of Barnby Road is to develop the children in a number of ways, both from an academic point of view, a creative point of view and also in a sporting capacity. We have an absolutely wonderful site and we can't wait to enjoy it alongside you.
Hello, my name's Miss Ward and I'm the head of lower school here at Barnby Road Academy. I oversee the children all the way from nursery to year 2 and I'm always here if you want to chat or if you want to ask any questions. Please do get in contact with me. Today I'm going to take you through our PowerPoint, which is all about your child starting here with us. I'd like to introduce you to our nursery team. So we have Mrs. Rachel Bryan, who's the foundation stage manager. She's starting with us in September and she'll be based in the reception unit that will oversee the nursery unit too. Then we have Mrs. Devonish, who's our nursery teacher and she's in the unit every day. And she's supported by 2 teaching assistants, Mrs. Magda Blossick and Mrs. Claire Stapleton. And they're a very friendly team and always happy to help. I'm going to let Mrs. Devonish say hello to you.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Devonish and I'm the nursery class teacher and the Dragonfly key worker. I'm looking forward to meeting your children very soon and I can't wait to get to know them and to have fun and learn and play together. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.
We are a really big school, so it's really important that you stay up to date with everything that's happening at school. And you can do this in a range of ways. We have our school website, which is kept up to date, and you'll also find the children's class pages on here with lots of information and photographs. We have our Barnby Road Facebook page, which again is kept up to date and messages are put out on there regularly. And we also use the school app, which you can download from the App Store, and lots of notices about clubs, about changes to lunches, or just little information will be put through the app. So it's really, really recommended that you get this on your phone. It's also really important that we have up-to-date contact information. Please let us know if your phone number, your home address, or your email address changes, as these are all used regularly to communicate with you, and it's really important that we have the most up-to-date contact information, please. We have a very active Friends Association at school. So the Friends is our PTA. They help us to raise lots of money to support us in school. The money raised goes towards Christmas and Easter treats, discos for the children, and also larger cost items such as Chromebooks, play equipment. They raise a huge amount of money that goes straight back into the school to benefit the children. As you can see, in 2018 to 19, we raised over £16,000, and that's amazing. As budgets get tighter for schools, it's great that we can still offer those extras through the help of the Friends. The Friends are always in need of volunteers, and you can find out about helping on their Facebook page. They have their own Facebook page, or through our school website, and we'd highly recommend that you get involved in the Friends Association in any way that you can when your child starts with us. So many of you will be wondering how your child will learn in nursery. In nursery, we follow the early years foundation stage. This starts from the age of 0 and runs till the end of the reception year when they're turning 5. So some children will already be accessing the early years foundation stage in a day nursery. The early years foundation stage has 7 areas of learning, and those first 3 areas, communication, language and literacy, physical development and personal, social and emotional development, they are the firm foundations and they are absolutely key to all other learning. So in nursery, we spend an awful lot of time making sure we're developing children's prime areas and they've got that really firm foundation that all other learning can then be built upon. So it's really important we get that right at the beginning. And then alongside the prime areas, there's also the specific areas. So there's maths, literacy, understanding of the world, which is science, geography, history, and then expressive arts and design with our art and our dance and our music. And so they're still focusing on the specific areas in nursery, but there is a huge focus on those prime areas and making sure we're getting that firm foundation for all the children's other learning as they move through school. So at nursery, the children predominantly learn through child-initiated learning. And this is something where the children are playing. So they might not realise that they're learning. They might be having fun, enjoying themselves, but actually that's how they learn at this young age. But that play is planned and it's purposeful. So the environment that is put out and the resources that are put out are very carefully thought through by the staff to make sure that they help the children develop and learn. The children also have a free flow between the indoor and the outdoor, so they can choose whether they're going to learn inside or outside, and there's different types of learning in both areas. We do go out in most weathers, so do make sure your children bring a coat, and sometimes we may ask you to bring wellies as well. We also follow in nursery something called in the moment planning, and this is where the staff are very highly trained, and through their play they will target children and move their learning forward. So in that very moment, they'll catch that teachable moment in their play and think, here's somewhere I can take the children's learning forward. And they will use their interaction with the children to move that learning on for them. There's also skills that are introduced in a whole class. So sometimes the whole nursery is all together. Sometimes they're in their smaller key groups of 13. And in those sessions, skills might be taught to the children, and then things will be left out for the children to go and revisit those on their own, so they can practice and consolidate the skills. As the year progresses in nursery, the session starts to become a little more structured, and the children are sometimes asked to access set activities so that they get used to a bit more structure and a bit higher expectation of them, ready for moving into reception. But also there's a big transition on the other side when the children do get into reception too. So you may be thinking about what are the expectations at nursery? What is my child going to learn whilst they're at nursery? And these are the things that the staff will be focusing on developing with the children throughout their time at nursery. So we're really focusing in on responding to simple instructions so that the children know how to listen, what they need to do, and then follow that instruction. We'll also be focusing in on how and why questions so that they understand those. There is a lot of work done on communication and language in nursery, lots of listening games, lots of special activities, lots of story times, that really focusing on developing these things with the children. We're also working on using a range of tenses. So the staff will do a lot of modelling back to the children. We call it recasting their speech. So the children might say something that's not in the correct tense. We wouldn't stop them and say, oh, no, this is how you say it. The adult will then just model back to them the correct way of saying it. and the children start to pick up on that, and that's a way of helping them with their tenses. They'll also focus in on using numbers in their play, recognising some numbers that are special to them. They'll look at numbers in their register time as well. And they'll also really focusing on using tools effectively, and that includes a pencil. In nursery, we do a lot of work on developing finger strength. They do lots of finger gym, lots of do disco and duster dance, which your children will tell you all about when they start. And all of those things are about developing the muscles needed to hold a pencil. So there'll be lots of fine motor activities, lots of things where they've got to use their fingers to help build that strength so that they're ready to hold a pencil. So later on in nursery, they then start to be holding a pencil and starting to learn to write their name, and that will be carried on into reception. The big focus in nursery is on recognising their name so that they can see which one is their name, and they can choose it from a range of different names. They can spot which is theirs, and then we start to work on copying some of the letters from their name with them. But we're very mindful of doing that at the right time, because we want children to be holding their pencil correctly and forming their letters correctly, because actually if they learn it in the wrong way, it's quite hard to unlearn that and learn the correct way. So we spend a lot of time trying to make sure it's the correct letter formation, so that when they get into school and then later on into Key Stage 1, they start to learn to join their letters. They're not having to unlearn the formation, so that they can get the right formation to be able to join them. So we start off small, and we don't usually start getting them to write their name until they're ready for that. And one of the biggest things in nursery is exploring books, having lots of fun, listening to lots of stories, joining in with stories, role-playing stories. They have lots and lots of fun with stories and with rhymes. And in nursery, you also do have some rhymes coming home that you can share with the children too. In nursery, we have something called Tapestry, and this is an online learning journey. Some of you may have used it in your day nurseries. It is very well known. And this is somewhere where staff and the parents can add comments and notes and photographs and videos of all the things the children are doing. And it's a way of documenting the children's learning and how they're moving on in their learning journey. It can be accessed by the internet. So it can be on an app as well, on phones or tablets. And we do have some iPods and iPads in school that we use for this. Obviously, it's all extremely secure. It's very well used by thousands of people across the country. So it is extremely secure, so there's no worry about that. You can see the benefit, because the difference is that you can see that learning at home at any time. Anytime you want to log in and see, you can go and see the sort of things your child has been doing. But you can also tell us what they've been doing at home, because learning doesn't just happen at school. And so it's important that we see the things that the children are doing at home and the learning that's happening there as well, so we get that rounded picture of children. When your child starts with us, we will ask you to sign a form that just allows us to use your email address so that we can set up the account for you. And it's very easy to use, and all of the staff will be happy to help you if you have any concerns with that. But we found this a great learning tool to share, and great for the parent partnerships, that we know what's going on at home and you know what's going on at school, and it's a great way to communicate too. I mentioned parent partnership, and actually this is absolutely vital in nursery. This is the start of the children's learning journey through nursery and reception and school, and it's really important that your child feels happy coming, and that they're settled, and that they feel comfortable in that environment. And that is our main focus for those first few weeks. That is all we'll be focused upon, making sure all the children are happy, they all know the routines, they understand what to do if they need some help, and they get to know those adults in the environment too. And the staff are really experienced. They know how to support the children with that transition. They know how to support the children who are finding it a bit trickier, and they will support you if you're finding it a bit difficult to settle your child, or even if you're finding it a bit difficult saying goodbye to your child, because we know that this is a really big step for you. But they're a great team. They're always there to help. Please do go and see them if you need anything. Obviously, Mrs. Bryan's also available in the reception unit. I'm also available in school. So any concerns that you have or any questions you have, please make sure you talk to a member of staff, because we really want to help and make sure that this is the best start for your child. There are lots of things that you can do to help your child at home, and there's some things we really ask that you spend time doing with your children to give them that best start at nursery. One of the key things is please talk to your child. Talk about what they're doing, talk about your journey, give them that attention, talk about their play. Talk is so important, and it just doesn't happen as much as it used to. Now that we have all the technology and the phones, we spend a lot of time on our phones and on social media, and we forget how much time we're spending on that, and all that time we're not spending interacting with our children. So just be mindful of how much time you're talking with your child, because talk really does lead into so many other things, and if the children are missing out on that important talk, they'll have a lot of gaps that will take a long time to fill. So please talk to your child at home. Play games with them, turn taking, sharing their memory. Playing games can improve all of those things, and it will make their life in nursery and in school so much easier if you've played games with them at home. Give your child time to play with some of those messy activities, some of those small activities that build those finger muscles, just like we're doing at nursery, where we're playing with Play-Doh, we've got threading, lots of small things to use those muscles and build them so that they're ready to start to hold a pencil later in the year. So do some of those activities at home, and that will really put your children in a great position to start to hold a pencil. Let them do some exploring, let them do mark making, let them have the chalk outside, let them have a paintbrush and some water and paint patterns on the floor in the garden. Give them time to do lots of exploring and mark making, and let them explore with some scissors. They don't have to be making anything. Give them an old catalogue or magazine, a pair of scissors. They'll love snipping away, and that's great for their fingers. It's great for developing their cutting skills. So please let them have those sorts of opportunities. I cannot stress enough how important it is you read with your child. Reading opens the door to so much other learning, and so it's really important that your child has heard lots and lots of stories. They've joined in with them, make them fun. Read a story every single day, and it really does put your child in a great position for their learning for the rest of their life. Just one book a day means they can have read so many books by the time they're 5, and that makes such a difference to their language and their understanding of the world around them. So please read with your child. Also start to encourage them to be independent. Children can do anything if we let them. So please let them have a go at putting their coat on. Show them how to do their zip. Show them how to go to the toilet and flush the toilet and wash their hands. Help develop that independence, because obviously at home there's just your child. There might be 1 or 2 children, there might be 1 or 2 adults. But at school and at nursery there's 13 children and 1 adult. And that means it's trickier for us to help everybody, and actually we want to build their independence and we want them to be able to do things for themselves. So if you can start helping them with that at home, it will make a really big difference. Also, make sure they get outside lots. Physical activity is so important for mental health and well-being, and for developing those gross motor skills that help us with our balance, our coordination. All of those things are so important. So please get outside, let them be active. That's just as important. So please, if you can do some of these things at home, you're really giving your child the best start in life that you can. Now I'd like to talk to you about the starting nursery arrangements. Obviously, everything's very different this year. So I want to talk to you about what we'd usually do and what we're thinking will happen this year. So usually we have a home visit of every child who's starting with us. So 2 members of staff would come to your house and chat to you. Obviously this year it's going to be a bit different. We can't do that at the moment. So instead Mrs. Devenish will be giving you a ring over the next couple of weeks, and she'll have a chat to you. She'll talk to you about anything you're worried about, any questions you have, so that we can make sure we give your child the best start. So just want to explain to you what happens when your child starts nursery. Usually we stagger this throughout the first 2 weeks, so children will come in small groups, and this just means that the staff can really focus in on making that a positive experience for the children, and we don't have too many new children all on one day. So they'll just be split down and you'll get a specific start date for your child. And first of all, the children will stay for 2 short sessions of an hour and a half. So they'll just come for a shorter session for 2 days in a row, and then from the next day, they'll come for the full 3-hour session from then on. If your child's struggling, the staff will talk to you, and it might be that we need to extend that transition a little bit, and that's absolutely fine. The staff will be able to talk you through that. But that's generally how the children come into nursery, and you should have received all that information on your email. I hope that has given you some information about your child starting nursery. Below this video, you will also find our school brochure and also our starting nursery brochure, which has even more information in all about what your child needs to wear, what they need to bring with them, about the start times and finish times. There's lots of extra information in there. If you do have any questions once you've looked at this information, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. There is a contact us tab in this part of the website, so you can either pop your message on there and I will get back to you, or you can contact me via the school office and I will get back to you and make sure that we answer your question. We know it's a tricky time starting nursery for your child, and it's even more trickier at the moment with the current situation, but we will do anything we can to help. So please do get in contact with us if you have any other questions. We look forward to seeing you all soon, and we will be in touch again over the next few months.